So there's a lot of talk about Carmelo Anthony and where he should go. And all the talk is surrounded about two teams, Houston Rockets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I beg to differ with the sports analysis stating that those are the best teams for Carmelo to go to, with him still able to have some form of his prime still intact, but from what I see. So there is a prime period, right? When you're at your best, they say that's between 27 and 31. But I would call a guy that keeps himself in shape can maintain the 31 to about 90%. And with Carmelo's skill set, 90% of Carmelo is better than 85, 90% of the players in the league. That's all he really needs to get going. All right. He may have lost a little bit of lift, but he doesn't really need it, especially in this league where dunks are looked at as great, but it's a shooting league now. You don't really need to be a great dunker to be successful in this league. With that said, I'm showing them New Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies, two teams that I think Carmelo would fit perfectly with. I'm going to go into some other teams as well. But these two teams, to me, are the best fit with his skill set, with the talent that they have. Again, the talent is key. And my assumption is Carmelo is going to be bought out, so he can go anywhere he wants at a minimum, and they can pay him. Let's go ahead and look at the New Orleans Pelicans. Why I love this team so much. Look at the lineup. Look at their needs. At this time, by the way, they got a good draft pick in Frank Jackson, who can be a Bayless-type player off the bench. They got a great center in Alex Ajinga, as far as from a defense standpoint. Omer Asik. These are good backups, but the two stars in the front are DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. Cheikh Diallo can provide the needed defense that they need at the power forward, even small forward position. Because of his size, he hasn't gained the weight yet. He's a good size, but he's able to play the small forward with his speed. Solomon Hill, great bench small forward, I think he is. Great player as well. Drew Holiday was re-signed, 6'4" guard. He can do the job. This is a position I would say they need to look to upgrade, in my opinion. Great guard, had a great season last year. I just don't think he can take it to the next level. That said, he's already signed, so that's who you have to go with. Etuan Moore is another player, consistent. They signed Denis Montañez, a three-point stretch forward. Quincy Pondexter, another stretch forward. He actually plays perfectly with this team for their needs. All right, looking at this team, they need an upgrade at the small forward position. There's really no star there, and you need a star at that position to make things happen. And I think he would totally fit in with Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. They have three-point shooters. He would be allowed on the space the floor and put in some work inside. So for me, just looking at this team, there's no doubt in my mind the Pelicans are a team that would fit best with Carmelo Anthony. If you look at his per stats, Carmelo, even though he's 90% of what he was, he's about 22 on the list of NBA players as far as efficiency and rank. So he played around 74 games. Again, 43% from field goal percentage, so we can stretch it out on the outside, 18 foot to 20 foot. Then he has a three-point range of 35.9%, which is not bad for a guy his age. It can be improved upon, but don't expect him to be Stephen Curry at 41%. With that said, definitely that's a place that he needs to look at. If he wants to win a championship, maybe a couple more pieces, maybe another guard, they're all set. I would look at Courtney Lee or one of those guys, a trade in exchange for one of those guys, and I think that's a great team. Next one down is Memphis Grizzlies. Vince Carter just left. I was watching their summer league, and I had them both up. But this is another team that is fully loaded. I love their summer league. I forgot about the talent that they had. Wade Baldwin is having an incredible summer league. He reminds me of Dwayne Wade a little bit, with a little bit more point guard skills. Then you got Wayne Selden, who can be a good sixth man. He can be a starter, but again, it depends on the team. I think he'll be a starter on this team. There's no one there. And then you have a kid by the name of Jarrell Martin, power forward, who is doing great things in the summer league. Reminds me, I'm not going to say reminds me of anything. This kid is an athletic small power forward who can shoot, who can rebound out of LSU. I think he had an injury last year. You add him into the fray. I don't know if they're going to be able to sign Jermichael Green, another good power forward. Zach Randolph is gone, but they got Ivan Rabb. Now look who else they got. Chandler Parsons, Ben McLemore. Okay. They got Mike Conley. Team is not too bad. And then you got the forefront. The guy who wins it all for him is Marc Gasol. This is not a bad team to look at. Okay. They are a little bit heavy with the forwards because of James Ennis. And also, who was the other guy you saw? Yeah, Tony Allen at 6'4" actually plays some small forward. So really it's James Ennis, right? And Chandler Parsons at the forward position. So for a team like this, I think you can move Chandler around a bit. He's coming off of injury. This is another great team for Carmelo to fit in and make some waves. They need scoring help. They're great on defense. They're a great defensive team, always have been. If Carmelo's there to give him the scoring punch, very interesting proposition. You got a big man to go down low to. You got a steady point guard, one of the top in the league. Not flashy, but does the job at a high level. This is another interesting team that I say, hey, Carmelo, if you're looking somewhere, and they picked up Ben McLemore, who I think resurrected his career here at a shooting guard position. So I think this is the next best team for him to go to. Going down the list, again, this is championship aspirations. I should have put them further up front. But Toronto Raptors are another great team. He would fit perfectly in with this team. They got Carroll. They got DeRozan. I know they're ball dominant, but another person to stretch the floor. Carroll's gone. They just signed C.J. Miles. I think this is another spot for him to go to if he still has championship aspirations. All right? This is outside of Cleveland and the Houston Rockets. This is another great team. Carmelo's in a great position because he has a lot of choices. I'm going to continue to go down. Obviously, Philadelphia's not going to win a championship, but this year. Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is another team that I looked at. I said, if you move Paul George to the 2, because he's still young enough where he can run around a bit, put Carmelo at the 3, you got your big 3 there. Okay. The problem was why I didn't put him out there is because they got Doug McDermott who's coming along. They also have Andre Roberson and Kyle Singler. They're no Carmelo, but the conglomerate may do what you need to for Russell Westbrook in his driving. But interesting proposition for him to make a big 3 there. I would argue this big 3 would be stronger than the Houston Rockets. The big 3 of the Oklahoma City, if Carmelo was to be added, is better than the Houston Rockets. Okay? That's the next thing. Now, the other addition is Ryan Anderson is a great player. That's who people forget about. Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon. So that's where Houston would have the edge because Ryan Anderson, I think, is another all-star. And then the next one down, Portland Trail Blazers. Why not? Portland Trail Blazers. You got McCollum, you got Lillard. Why the hell not? Add Carmelo to that team. Can be making some noise. They have some nice pieces, nice role players. Carmelo wouldn't be bad to this team. Add some heights, add some scoring. I think they're a pretty good defensive team. Fareed can come off the bench. He can do damage there. I like this team for him. So in a nutshell, there goes who I would choose for Carmelo Anthony. I'll throw Cleveland in there last. I just don't know where he gets the minutes from this team. I just don't know where he gets. Is he going to take away? I guess Richard Jefferson is going to be sitting a lot more. You bring Love at the 5, LeBron at the 4, him at the 3, JR at the 2, Kyrie at the 1. Interesting proposition. Oops, I forgot Tristan. Tristan's going to have to play. Derek. I think Williams may be gone. They may give him another chance because he just got traded mid-season. Didn't have a good playoffs, but it could be the adjustment, right? It takes a little bit of time to adjust. Kyle Korver as well. It's a gel thing with the team, right? The Warriors have time to gel. They've been with each other for a long time. These two didn't gel quite quickly as they wanted to. They did well, but they didn't gel, and the playoffs wasn't too great for those guys. James Jones is still there, the staple, but interesting proposition to reunite with J.R. Smith and Shepard. It would be fun to see him here to play with LeBron. It would be exciting, but for me, I like New Orleans. I like Memphis as far as impact and minutes. He'll play. He'll get his minutes. And he has contributors that can help him. I really love Memphis. I really, really like Memphis. What I saw out of the summer league, again, not playing the best competition, they got some pieces. So, signing off for sports. Where should Carmelo go this summer? We'll see. And maybe mid-season as well. They may keep him. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Subscribe. Thank you.